Shalom, all praises, honor, and glory unto Hawa, Barasham, Yawashai, Barasham Achad, Badash. Double honor to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who were well pushing this 100% truth of the gospel, waking up and sealing the elect of the nation of Israel through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Barasham, Yawashai. And salutations to all your sincere Alchemad that are pushing this gospel in all righteousness and in all sincerity, risking your lives and your freedom to do so. This is your brother Abba Awan, and I'm back. Just going to vision a little bit, the vision, or the word vision rather, right? Because, let me get that precept first and foremost before I go into it anymore. Because it just says, blessed are your eyes for they see, alright? And here it is. So this is the book of Matthew 13, and I was actually going into this in camp, and the Spirit was still allowing me to go into this topic a little bit more because I was watching the Apostles live stream, the camp that they did this Saturday, which of course it was beautiful, and the finals, and I always make sure that I never miss it, if I don't do anything that day, I'll at least watch the Apostles, live camp. But anyway, going back to what I wanted to talk about, because I was going into this in camp, how this truth wasn't given to everybody, alright? It was only given to the elect of the nation of Israel. We are given this understanding, right? Our eyes were open and we received this vision, okay? And the apostles were talking about mentioned the exact same thing. He said that that you receive that vision, that you receive the vision, and the vision is what you can see the downfall and the destruction of this kingdom. You can see the chariots. You can see the chariots being angels, alright? You can see the mark of the beast, how it will be implemented, how they will force everybody on the earth to receive it. You can see how Ashai coming back to crack those clouds. You can see the missiles pelting Babylon the Great. And that's right, us that were in the street, we can see all these things already. I can just close my eyes and I can imagine it just like that. That's because we received that vision, we received that spirit on us from Yahweh Shmi Ashai. This is the book of Matthew 13, verse 16, and it reads, blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For verily I say unto you that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them. And that's right, because we're in that time, we're in the appointed time, literally, right? I've actually done videos about this. We're in the times that we're in the times of the fulfillment of the prophecies that all the prophets have spoken about since Enoch, since the prophet Enoch. And even the scriptures goes into that. All the prophecies that have been spoken about are coming to pass, and we're in that time right now, which is why Yahushua was speaking about this, how many prophets and righteous men have desired to see the things which you see. That's why whenever prophecy goes forth, you see brothers rejoicing, because you understand you understand what it means for the prophecies to come to pass, all right? And if you understand, if you really understand the scriptures, then you know that those prophets and those righteous men are back here again, and they are seeing the vision, all right, in a way, through reincarnation. They are seeing it and they are prophesying the same thing that they were prophesying of in the past. They still prophesy of it now. Now, to go back to this right here, I have the definition of the word vision, and basically, if you really want to just be in layman terms, the word vision means to see, alright? But I want to get the official definition, because that's because he always likes to deal with his words and the like, because, and even we here in the truth as well, both in the right hand and the left hand, they deal with the words, and you have to have a full understanding of what these words mean, alright? So that when you teach it, because there's a saying in the world that if you can't break it down to a 5-year-old, then you don't really understand it. So if you can't break it down to it be as simple as possible, then you don't really understand what you are teaching, alright? That's why we talk about how this truth is simple, the simplicity that is in Yahweh Shai. So now this is the definition of the word vision, and it reads, the sense or ability of sight, something seen, an object perceived visually. I want to go into, here it is, and the sixth definition, a religious or mystical experience of a supernatural appearance. And that is basically what we are going into when we talk about vision. The vision that is given unto us by Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, the vision that the Most High sends to his servants, the prophets, alright? And now I'm going to go into it in the Bible, right? Because obviously I'm going to get some precepts concerning that, but let me just get it in the Bible first. So first precept I'm going to go into is the book of Isaiah 1 verse 1, and it reads, "The vision of Isaiah the son of Amos, which he saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah." And this is speaking about what all the things that the prophet Isaiah saw during his prophesying, the visions that the Most High gave unto him, the message that Yahweh Hashem Yahushua gave unto him, because the Most High wasn't just telling the Isaiah these things, okay? The Most High wasn't just telling the prophets these things. Alright, they actually saw it, because the apostles always say this, that whenever you read the scriptures, you've got to visualize it, you've got to see it in your inner eye, you've got to be able to close your eyes and see these things coming to pass, alright? Isaiah saw the destruction, he saw the kingdom, he saw our people coming back together, he saw the men on the highways and byways prophesying, he saw Esau's wickedness, okay? The men, they all saw these things. They saw it they saw it happening in the future. The Most High revealed to them what would come to pass, and they wrote it down, okay? This, they actually saw it, like it was like playing, it was like watching a TV show, all right? But the TV was connected to the future. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this word vision. Right, here it is, okay. And that word vision in the Hebrew actually means machaza. Machaza. Basically the same thing. It means to see, alright? Because the word see in the Hebrew is chaza. Oh, I've passed it, Salakia. This is the word vision. You can see here, and you got it in is Yiddish. But anyway, I'll still play it anyway, just for the sake. I'll still play it anyway. This word is chazawan. Salakia. Chazawan. Same place.
Strong's H2377. Chazon.
But this isn't what I wanted to show you. I want to show you the root word, alright? Because if you go into the bulletin, you see the Strong's concordance for these words. Sometimes I like to go into the root word to see whether I can get a better understanding of what the word actually is. And in the root word, you see the word chazar right there. That's basically what that word is. Chazar, which means to see, perceive, look, behold, prophesy, provide. Alright, to see, behold, to see as a seer in the ecstatic state. And that reminds you of the book of I believe that is the book of First Samuel 9 verse 9, when it talks about how I have to get that, so I'm not going to use this bulletin. Let me use the other Bible, the Apocryphal Bible. Let me get that. First Samuel 9 verse 9, because that's what it reminds me of, where it talks about how before they were called prophets, alright, the men that received that vision from the Most High, that could see, that could receive the oracle from the Most High, the vision from the Most High, were called seers. So this is the book of First Samuel 9 verse 9, and it reads, "Before time in Israel, when a man went to inquire of the Most High, thus he spake, Come and let us go to the seer. For he that is now called a prophet was before time called a seer." That's right, and that's basically what this word chazar means, to be a seer. That's why the word prophet, the word vision, right? It means machazar, because they're receiving that vision from, because the vision in this case, the sight they are seeing in this case is the sight that is being shown to you by Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And just like I said in the beginning of this video, it's not everybody that can receive that vision. So, to the Akyam and the Akwat that are watching and listening to this video, blessed are your eyes and blessed are your ears, for they both see and hear and can actually perceive and understand what they are seeing and hearing, because majority of our people, 2/3 of our people, and of course the hidden as well, they can't even, their brains can't even, most of them looking for, their brains can't, calculate or, break down the information that they're receiving with their eyes. They can't connect the dots with what their eyes are seeing and what their ears are hearing. Basically, they are stuck in that Esau system. They are drinking that Babylon juice. the wine of Esau's doctrine, and whatever he tells them is what they will believe. They can't use their eyes to see or their ears to hear and make up their own conclusions for themselves, but they believe whatever these devils feed them, right? But also have the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh is giving us that spirit, to be able to actually process. That's what I was looking for. To process the information that we're receiving from our eyes and from our ears, so that when we see these prophecies coming to pass, when we see the signs of this kingdom being destroyed, we can connect all that to scripture. When you see the chariots, you can connect all that to scripture. When you see what is going on right now with this infection, and and then what they are administering, you can connect all that to scripture, because our eyes actually you will actually be able to process all this information. All right, now let me get another precept. Going into the vision. All right, let me get this precept going into the vision, because I'm thinking of a few precepts in my head. I don't really know which one I want to bring out first. So this is the book of Numbers 12 from verse 6 now, and it reads, "And he said, Hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I Yahweh will make myself known unto him in a vision, and will speak unto him in a dream." All right, this is going into how we get our messages, how we get our divining, how we get our prophesying. All right, I know if you go into the book, I should bring that out as well. But let me just finish up with this first, because the Most High is the one that is giving us this message that we are bringing out. So it's giving us these words that we are speaking. When we do the videos, when we go out to the highways and byways, everything that we speak is given to us by the Most High. That's why in the New Testament, the scripture says that word, that when you go out, when you go before kings and princes, right, so where you are going, you go before people to defend the gospel, that you should not worry about. Let me see if I can get that precept, because the Most High will be with you, and he will put his words, his own words in your mouth. Let me see if I can find out precepts. Like I've forgotten how it goes. Which is all the more reason to find this, just as a refresher. When you go before kings and rulers, I can't remember how it goes. Let me try and get it on the the browser. I was trying to get the editing for the vision, but it's still the exact same thing. Basically means sight to see. But let me try and get it in the on the Google. See. Okay, it's Matthew the 10th chapter. Alright, let me bring it out. Matthew 10 verse 19, I believe. Oh yeah, here it is. This is the book of Matthew 10 verse 18, and it reads, "And ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. But whenever they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you." And that's right, because we have the Spirit on us. Because let me get that. That's also in the book of Isaiah, the 61st chapter. The Spirit of the Most High is upon me, because the Most High has ordained me to. And let me bring out that precept. I can't remember how it goes exactly. Because that's basically what this vision is. What this. The spirit of, because what this vision is, and that vision is basically prophecy. Alright, the prophecy that the Most High had put in us. So this is the book of Isaiah 61 verse 1, and it reads, "The Spirit of Yahweh of power is upon me, because Yahweh hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound." That's right. So when the Spirit is upon you, you are going into the prophecies, you are bringing out the word, all the words of the scriptures, all the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, the 100% truth, the vision, as it were. And that vision is what? Let me, let me, let me go back to the book of Numbers. Let me go back to that precept that I just put out, Numbers 12, verse 6, because I believe there's something else I want to get out of there. Yeah, that's basically it, That's basically it. And let me also do this as well. Let me just type down this word vision. As we go into the, use that to go into the rest of the precepts I want to bring out. So this is my next precept, Numbers 24, verse 3. Alright, and this is going into Balaam and Balak. And you should already know the story when Balak, the king of Moab at that time, wanted to bring a prophet to curse our people when they were crossing from Egypt, through the I believe it's the Suez Canal. Like if I'm wrong, but they will cross the Suez Canal to get into the Middle East in order to get to the land of Israel. And so Balak, because he feared our people, feared the multitude that was coming through, because there was millions, right? He wanted to bring a prophet to send a curse to them, but the Most High wasn't dealing with that, right? The Most High wasn't trying to curse our people during that time, because what were we crossing over to the land, over to the promised land for blessings, all right? So the Most High turned those curses into blessings 3 times, all right? So what this was him speaking the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, not his own words, because the Most High took control of his body. The spirit jumped on him, and he could not curse the people of Israel, all right? That's the same thing that's happening when we are out there on the highways and byways. The spirit of the Most High jumps on us, and we can't go out there and tell a lie, all right? We can't go out there and hide any of the counsels that the Most High, any of the visions that the Most High had given unto us. We can't go out there and start pretending that the mark of the beast isn't what it is. And this is exactly the reason why the brothers in GMS, the brothers in Great Millstone can't do unity camps with any of these other camps that are out there, because once you're out there and the spirit is on you heavy, the way that it is normally is when you're in the camps, and somebody comes out slack, somebody comes out and says the work of the beat is sleeping with white, he's sleeping with white women, or he's Cesare, or the image of Cesare Borgia. To take everything in your power, not to just curse them out right there, but when you completely change, and the whole camp, the whole atmosphere of the camp will completely change right there, and they just be focused on you cursing that person out, rebuking them rebuking them with the scriptures, bringing it out, and that's not unity right there, alright? That's why you can't have unity with these other camps, because if you don't speak the same thing as we do, we're not going to get along. We're not going to get along throughout that whole camp, because if you're out there with somebody that has a false doctrine, that's the only thing that's going to be on your mind throughout that whole camp. You're just going to be thinking, you want to ask this brother about this doctrine, so that he'll say what he believes, and then you can now go into the scriptures and rebuke him for pushing out that false doctrine, alright? I know what the scripture says, man. Through thy precepts I get understanding, therefore I hate every false way. And so if you're not coming up in the right way, you're not coming up with the right doctrine, brother, just by you not coming up with the right doctrine, man, brothers can't even stand to be around you. But anyway, let me focus on what I'm actually talking about, alright? So this is once again Numbers 24, verse 3, and it reads, "And he took up his parable and said, Balaam the son of Beor hath said, and the man whose eyes are open hath said." That's right. Because the man whose eyes are open, this is actually, it's still going into Balaam during this time, but it's also going into the prophets as well, the men of the Lord, because those are the people whose eyes are actually open, because you see what is going on the earth. And I wanted to add a clip of the movie They Live, alright? That old movie, I think it was made in 1998, where the guy, he could see through the lies, he could see through the predictive programming, he could see through the propaganda, through all the falsities that he has set up in his system in order to brainwash the people, turn them into zombies, complete slaves. That's basically us right now. We see through these things, man, because what has he done? The devil had changed himself into an angel of the light. He made himself seem like the savior of the world, the person that would lead the world into illumination, into the future. But that's not the case, because you know that he's leading the world deeper and deeper into darkness. Okay, that's why Yahweh Hashem Yahshua has to come and intervene. And you know the intervention that is coming with is such a, it's so powerful, it's so extreme, that the prophets that was the prophet, anybody that saw it, man, were terrified by it, just by looking at it. Even just imagining it sometimes, sends chills down brothers' spines. I know it sends chills down mine. And that is how bad this system has gotten to, where the Most High has to, bring swift judgment, swift and heavy and harsh judgments, man. So much so that the ears of, at the hearts, that people will be getting heart attacks in that day, just from seeing the things that would happen. Okay, and brothers that understand this thing before it already happens, man. That's why we are doing this work right here, because just the vision of it, just imagining it is that terrifying. Okay, so continue on Isaiah 24 verse 4. He hath said, which heard the words of the Most High, which saw the vision of the Almighty, falling into a trance, but having his eyes open. And that's right, because when brothers out there, the spirit is on them, it's basically like they are in a trance, because whatever comes out of their mouth during that time is the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. You just take it as, because I usually just take it as that. When brothers are, when you see that brothers are in the spirit, those are the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua coming out through men. Isaiah 3 verse 7, Amos 3 verse 7. Surely the Most High will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets through his servants the prophets. And the Most High speaks through men, and those men are the men of Great Millstone, the men on the highways and byways, and likewise the other Israelite camps that believed in the likewise doctrine. That's who Yahweh Hashem Yahushua has chosen as his vessels to push this word. Okay, so now let me get to another precept concerning the vision, because this is what our people have been waiting for. Our people, the only reason why the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and even being seen in are being seen in the change of light. The only reason why people are not starting to focus or care about these minorities, care about Negroes, care about reparations, care about justice for the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, calling the colonizer. They're talking about how he stole the land from our, from the Northern Kingdom, talking about all the atrocities and the crimes that Esau had done against our people, is because of this vision, because of the men of the Lord that are out there on the highways and byways. So this is the book of Proverbs 29 verse 18, and it reads, where there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he. That's right, because when our people did not have this prophecy, the understanding of the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, where were we? We were in a dead state. Alright, Revelation the 11th chapter, the two witnesses that were dead, that were dead for 3 days, and they swore them not to be buried, not to be put into graves. That was us, that was our people, when there was no prophesying, when there were no men on the highways and byways doing this work, when the vision of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, the prophecies of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua wasn't out there. It wasn't out there on the highways and byways. That was basically the state that our people were in, that dead state. We were perished, we were destroyed. Alright, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm not even talking about the transatlantic slave trade or anything like that. I'm talking about the lack of this word, man. The lack of this understanding of the spirit, the lack of this word, the lack of the law, or the lack of the understanding of the scriptures. Because these celebrities, these men that are, these celebrities that are out here, in the world, have sold their souls to Esau. They know that they are Israelites. They sold their souls to Esau, and they're not interested in getting this word. They are dead men. They are completely perished, completely gone, and you can see it in their eyes that no more amount of money on this planet is enough to comfort them. Because what the scriptures say, what can a man give in exchange for his soul? What shall it profit a man to gain the whole world but to lose his own soul? And what can a man give in exchange for his soul? Because you can't give anything in exchange for your soul. Alright, except for if you give your soul to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, of course. That is the only worthy trade-off. Because at the end of the day, you get that salvation, and that salvation is still your soul. Because you're not even giving you're not even actually giving your soul up, rather you are saving it. That's basically what another basically what we are doing out, we are doing by going out to the highways and byways by doing this work, and I've already actually mentioned that before. All right, and we talk about the vision and the seers of these visions, okay? Because like I said before, prophets were called seers, and we know that word prophecy means what? To see before, to see before, to see something before it happens. That's basically what the word prophet means. All right, you have that, I receive that, and we receive that vision from Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. That's why the brothers that have been talking about the collapse for years have been talking about everything that you see happening now. Talking about it for years. How conflict, wars, rumors of wars, the pestilence, the plagues, the disease, the civil unrest, the martial law, the MOTB, talking about these things coming to pass, and they're coming to pass very soon, of course. Now let me get this piece out as well. And I actually wanted to close out with this, but that it just hit my head, it just came into my mind right now. The prophet, this is the book of Habakkuk 2, and I'll start from verse 1, and it reads, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And Jehovah answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. And that's beautiful right there, because that's talking about what? These prophecies, because that's basically what this vision is. The prophecies, that is exactly what is going into the prophecies, because all these prophecies that are coming to pass, and the time that it comes to pass, man, it's going to come. When it rains, it will it pours. The time that these prophecies start coming to pass, they start coming to pass, one after the other in quick succession, without pause, without stop, and they keep on escalating and escalating. Because when you see something in the news, and then you stop hearing about it, and then it comes back on the news again, it's not because it stopped, but because Esau stopped reporting on it. But then Esau had to start reporting on it again, because it started getting worse and worse. You see, the customer, like the chariot sightings, at first it was just a few UFOs, unofficially the US government, they confirmed that UFOs existed, and now they see, people are seeing it everywhere, and they are coming out in the camp. They're coming out to the camp. Brothers are seeing it everywhere. Always coming out in the camp, fleets upon fleets of them, and those are the chariots of Israel right there. And I'm not going to go into any more into that, because that's another lesson that I'm planning on doing. But all these things we spoke about them, because these are all prophecies. They are all in the book. Okay, look no further than than the scriptures, man, because everything is right there. All right. This is the vision that the prophets are talking about. These are the signs that the prophets were talking about. You don't need to see the Most High come down from heaven himself, or Yahweh Shai come down from heaven himself. But these little things are enough, man. The blood moons, all right, the eclipses, these different signs. These are the things that was going to happen before before Yahweh Shai comes back, before the destruction of this place. So yeah, I'm going to end it right there. So with that, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Racha, Kwadash, Wa, Abad, Babal, and through the spirit of Akim Akwat were edified. Shalom.